Good morning, this is Joe A Tour, and today we're in Frankfurt Höchst. We're just going to walk around some of the more modern part and some of the old part. Frankfurt Höchst is part of the half-timbered route in Germany. So we're going to see a whole lot of half-timbered buildings here. In German, those are called Fachwerk. But it's basically just going to be a stroll, not so much of a tour. It's going to be one of our city walks, like our other city walks. So you can see what Frankfurt has to offer. Remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these. We do have a Facebook page and an Instagram account. This building over here is pretty. It's a lovely June sunny morning and all the roses are in bloom. So this part of Frankfurt did not get bombed very much in the war, which is why we have so much lovely old architecture left. This building's pretty. And we walked straight from the main train station in Höchst, and we're going down towards the river. You can see the buildings down there. There's the train station down there. And we're going this direction. The St. Joseph's, we did a little video on that one day. Trying to get as much of Frankfurt as we can. We do offer private tours to any of the places that we visit and walk through. If you'd like to have more information, just send us an email. info@frankfurtonfoot.com, and we will answer you right away. If you think that looks like a palace up ahead of you, it is. It's a little tiny Schloss, and we're going to be down there in a minute. That will be Höchst Old Town or Altstadt area. See the streets, the side street. Down here at this area is where they have the market on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. It's a really nice market. Lots of friendly people, lots of really nice fresh local produce. And this is a little market hall here. A little bit like the Kleinmarkthalle in Frankfurt, but it doesn't have the exotic things, but has nice butchers and cheeses, pastries, noodles. And we're getting into our Old Town area, which you can see because the street is so narrow. And we have our city walls here. Let's go take a quick look at what it says so you can see just where the wall went. So All built in the 1350s. And this shows where it goes. This is where the palace is. This is where the ferry is. This is where the train station is. So we just walked down the street here. Nice view of the wall. Look at the roses. You can see from this that at one time this house was covered with stucco because they hacked at this to make the stucco stick. Same thing over here. Nobody wanted to have a half-timbered house at one time. I wanted a modern house with stucco on it. Or here. These houses are beautiful, but they do take a lot of work to keep them okay, so they don't fall apart. We'll just admire the roses. Nice view down this street here. All the half-timbered buildings. There's quite a few of them. This one here.
Sicherlich haben die doch ist aber keine Lauferlaubnis, was hier steht.
So this state says here Schloss Höchst. Another little lovely half-timbered building here. This does have to be one of my favorite streets in all of Frankfurt. You know, if Frick Steves hasn't been to this street, he hasn't seen Frankfurt, I think. It's just so lovely. So if you look down over here, you've got the moat and the Schloss, and we'll go down there in a minute. There it is. It has burned down a couple times. It has been replaced a couple times. But this is where AFM broadcasted. From 1945 till I believe 1963. Army had a caserne here in Höchst called McNair Caserne. Turn around to get a view from this side. because it's so pretty. Now, what I think we'll do is walk up this other side street before we come back down to the palace. Pretty lanterns here. Some more half timbered. You can see how the wood is old. We sure do have a pretty day. Take a quick look at these. How cute. This would be my second favorite street to live on because it's so cute. Especially with this house over here. And over here. So we'll head back down the street here this way. Imagine what this was like in medieval times. Those little narrow streets like this. So this is Bolongaro Strasse, and this one's into the Bolongaro Palace. Höchste Schlossplatz. This is some Swan. She's a swan. This was once the city hall for Höchst. So we're going to take a peek at the outside of the Justinus Church because it's closed right now. It's Monday, and right now it's only open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays in the afternoon. But this church is one of the oldest churches in Germany. This church was consecrated in 830, and you can see what it looks like now. And this is what they think it looked like back when it was first built. We have this in Braille right here. This church is on the Camino, the Jakobsweg. It's got a garden behind it. It's really pretty inside too. We're gonna have to do a separate tour just for the inside of it, more of the history. It's got a shell here. You can tell that it's part of the Camino. So if you subscribe, you won't miss the video that we do of the church. They do a nice Christmas market here, just for a little, just on 3 days. But it's charming. It's all local people, the local clubs, the Boy Scouts, the Kiwanis, the Lions, the churches, all trying to raise money for the year. So they really lost out on that last year because there was no Christmas market. So this is the toll gate where people would, if they came by ship with their goods on their way to Frankfurt from the Rhine, they would have to come here and pay some money to Höchst, which didn't make Frankfurt very happy. This is a great place to sit outside and have lunch. They've got really good Frankfurter style food. So they do have a little beer garden in the back. They've got coffee and cake. This is stuff about the palace. They use this today as a training area, school for people learning how to take care of monuments and archaeology. So from up here, you can see down into the moat. We're gonna go on down into the moat. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the snow pictures from here from this past winter. So I ran down here at 6 o'clock in the morning to get beautiful snow photos of the palace and the moat and the old town. Now this little Schloss was built for the Archbishop of Mainz, and Höchst belonged to the Archbishop of Mainz. It's a very Catholic town. Wouldn't it be fun to live up there and look out on this little castle every day? course, at one time this did have water in it. There's our old town area up there. Those restaurants on the weekend, it's hard to get a spot to sit because everybody rides their bicycles here. From Frankfurt or from Mainz, from Wiesbaden. Some ruins up there. And we're at the river. They usually have a nice festival here every summer. Don't think they're gonna have it this summer. But this is where the city wall ends, is here at this tower. But this just goes on around to the side. If you take this bridge, you get into all the pharmaceutical companies. It's about 80 companies over there. And we're at the Main River. This barge is on its way to the Rhine, which is this way, where Mainz and Wiesbaden are located. It's about 25 kilometers. And this is where our Main River ends. It's Dietenberg. Usually quite a lot of river traffic. The Main River gets about 60 ships a day. Normally they would also be getting the cruise ships. I just saw my first one on Saturday. You know, I think Viking's supposed to be starting up in July. I don't know about the other ones. The one I saw on Saturday was Talc. I don't know about Uni World or Gate 1 or Advantage or Avalon. So you can see where the arch is. I'm sure they took their boats and sailed right in through there when this was once a moat. But also our wall was a lot higher. It's a fairly useless wall when it's down this low. But they've raised this riverbank up a number of times. So here it looks, the walls look a bit taller. And you got, sorry, the dates. Sorry, the cottonwood gets in my throat and makes me choke because it's everywhere. So we have the dates for our water and how high it went. The mine tour. And we can see our church from down here, the Justinus Church. If you come here to the church on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, they've got a little garden you can go to, and they usually have this little tower open up too. Just trying to go inside. So Frankfurt is down this direction. And there's the ferry that crosses the river. It just goes back and forth all day long. So we'll turn this off for a minute. So we rode the ferry across the river so we can have a view from over here. That's the Bolongaro Palace down there. This ferry goes back and forth all day long. You rode your bicycle down here to Schwanheim, to the Schwanheimer Dunes. There's a lovely view of the Justinus Church and the city wall and the Schloss. Now you can book a tour on this for a private party, or they have these sunset cruises. These are gorgeous. And you know what? This is the best 31 euros you'll ever spend, is to come on one of these sunset cruises. There's the party here. It's just gorgeous to come down here. I know they have one tomorrow night. I think on Tuesdays and Sunday nights. So we'll turn this off and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Okay, we finished our little ferry ride across the river and we're back here at the mine tour with our dates, with the river flooded. And again, we have our little map over here so you can see where we're at. So we're right here, going into the old town. Some more dates over here. If you want to get a feel for medieval town at nighttime, Höchst isn't a bad idea if you're just here in Frankfurt and you don't have time to go anyplace else, like Büdingen or Gelnhausen or Idstein or Marburg. You know, this is way cool and it's really pretty at night. You can get a good meal at any three of these restaurants. They're all pretty old, as in they've been around for like 100 years. Now for Frankfurt style food, a Frankfurt Schnitzel, Frankfurt green sauce, Handkäse mit Musik, Röppchen mit Kraut. Here we are at our city hall again. There's lots of little stores here in Höchst. Little designers, little boutiques. So this house was built in 1591, but since 1989, a place for new music and photography. I quite like this. It's an interesting sculpture hanging off the building. Looking at those pretty buildings across the way. The Justinus Church. You see some of these houses need some work done on them, where this one here is pretty good. They've done some nice renovation work on that. And there. Let's walk down the Schloss. Oh, look, there's the SPD has an office here. This has been a little pub since 1525. So we walked down that street earlier. Then we'll go down this street here. This street is called Brand Street because they had a big fire here. And this street here is called Nach dem Brand, so after the fire. This big long building was like a big stable or barn. People just do such a lovely job out here with making the front of their houses so pretty. This house here looks like it's a little bit crooked. Could use some work. This one too. You can see what this looks like inside the house with the wood and the wattling. So you can see the straw and the mud. And here we've got the back part of this big barn, this big stable. This big pink building here is a World War II bunker. And there used to be a Jewish synagogue here. It was built in the early 1900s. Höchst had a fairly decent sized Jewish community, around 630 people. And the Nazis burned the synagogue down and they built this bunker instead. So they just did archaeology work out here the last 2 years and dug up this whole Platz. But they do have This, I don't know if you can see through here or not. This shows what the synagogue looked like before it was burned down. So you can look through that. They usually have one over here that shows the interior. But that's gone since the archaeology. It looks like they might be bringing it back. So we're going to conclude our Old Town tour now. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again at the next video. Bye. Thanks for joining.